She asks me to spend my birthday with her to celebrate it. I decline her invitation and tell her that I don't waste special occasions on her anymore. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Aura Zone Stories. Today we have a story where this woman got divorced and ended up in jail. It's a complete story with an update. Let's see how this story ended. I was married for 2 years at the time. Wife is a serious TikTok junkie, sends me at least 20 a day. We are both in our early 20s. Start sending ones about open marriages and also some podcasts. A few long talks about how we are young and should try this before we are old and have kids. After a few months of pushing, I give in and we set up some boundaries. 1. No unprotected bedroom activity. 2. Nothing in our house and no overnight stays. 3. If bedroom activity occurs with someone else, no details and no touching each other for 30 days. And a doctor's visit and cleared before any intimacy between us. We open our marriage. She starts going on dates on Friday nights. I work. Anyways, I get home normally around 10 p.m. For the first year was kinda fun. She goes out on a date. By the time I get home, she is already home or getting home at the same time. She tells me what they did on the date and she jumps me. These are just dates, no bedroom activity or intimacy. During this first year, I myself go on 3 dates, each one goes the exact same way. They find out I am married, and it is not what they are looking for. Was nice meeting you. After 3 dates I quit. Then one Friday night she doesn't get home till like 3 a.m. Comes and makes a joke about being too sore and tired for anything, see some hickey marks on her chest and thighs. Not going to lie, I was hurt and upset by this. Monday or Tuesday, I don't remember, she tries to initiate with me, and I remind her of rule 3. She gives me the "Are you serious 30 days and a doctor's visit?" I said, "Yes, deadly serious." This becomes a pattern for us. She goes out with her bad boy on Friday nights, has her fun, then spends the rest of the week trying to get me to change rule 3. To me, feels like she put me on a shelf. I start avoiding her, working more, being out of the house, even if just out walking, start becoming a lot more physically active, start losing some weight. She is full in a fog of new relationship energy and doesn't notice and thinks I am out doing my own thing. 5 months of being on a shelf. I am not seeing a reason to remain in this marriage. I was selling my happiness so she could be happy, and I was running out of things to sell. Up to this point, she has not broken any boundaries, and every time I bring up maybe she should step back from him, I am overreacting or blowing this way out of proportion. It's just some fun one night a week. Our 4th wedding anniversary day arrives, and I take the day off work, make her dinner, cleaned house. She get home from work at 4, hops in the shower, get dressed up, tells me she is going to a bar to see a local band and not to wait up. She completely forgot about our anniversary. I am destroyed. I wake up Saturday morning at 9 a.m. and she never came home. Boundary number 2 broken. I send her one simple text: "You have broken our boundary of no sleeping over. I am done." At 11:30 a.m. she starts calling, tell me she just closed her eyes for a second and passed out. It was an accident. I am so sorry, it will never happen again. My unwillingness to even talk about it causes her to wake up out of her fog some. She ends up coming to my work just before we open and makes a scene in front of the whole staff and the owners. I am finally able to calm her down enough and she leaves. I promised on Sunday we can discuss it. I get home from work Saturday night and she once again tries to have bedroom activity with me, and I again tell her rule number 3. She then tells me that she will no longer be seeing him and wants to close the marriage and work on reconnecting with me. Seems she freaked out when she woke up there, got my texts, and he made fun of her and she realized how much of an idiot he was. She tries every day to be intimate with me and fails badly. At this point, I have no need or want or desire for her. She is a roommate barely. The 30 days goes by, she goes to the doctor and gets checked out. She is clean of diseases, but is pregnant. Not sure where her mind was with this, but she comes home excited and tells me we are pregnant. I tell her, "Good, I hope you two will be happy together." She looks at me confused for a few minutes and starts crying. She a few days later sends him a text telling him. His response is, "Wow, terrible. You might want to pass it off as your husband's laters." I file for divorce soon after. She starts doing anything and everything to change my mind about the divorce, make promises, begs, pleads, offers everything under the sun, asking for a chance to fix us. I am polite and nice about it, but not having any of it. I am stuck living with her for a while till out lease is up. We fall into a new pattern. She tries to be intimate with me. I turn her down, she gets upset. I go for a run. My resentment of her is growing just like her baby bump. 3 weeks ago, she comes in my room to talk. She brought home pizza for dinner. She starts with how being pregnant, she is super excited all the time, and tries yet again to have bedroom activity with me. I at this point am running out of politeness. Tell her sorry, I am not into fat chicks. Maybe hit Tinder, sure someone on there would be down for it. She leaves my room crying. Also, we had our first divorce hearing and the judge slaps 6 weeks of marriage counseling on us, court ordered. We go 2 sessions, kinda a meet and greet thing, talk to us separately to get our stories, I guess. I just want this over so we can move on with our lives. Last Sunday was my birthday. On that Friday before it, she asks me to spend my birthday with her to celebrate it. I decline her invitation. She keeps pushing the subject, and I snap. I tell her that I don't waste special occasions on her anymore. The last one was our 4th anniversary, in which she went out to get knocked up by some pothead loser. I leave her crying in the kitchen, head to work, told her I would see her on Monday for our court-ordered waste of time. Monday morning I am at marriage counseling. She never shows. I call her nothing, call her friends nothing, call her parents. She got arrested Sunday morning for DUI and reckless endangerment, and they are on the way. I offer our house for them to stay at. I have a couch at a friend's house. My lawyer goes to the judge and expedites things. My divorce finalized this past Friday. Yesterday I helped them pack some of her stuff, and today going to help them load a U-Haul they rented. She gets released tomorrow, and they are taking her back home with them. She wants to see me, but I feel that will just be worse for the both of us. We both need to move on. Last Thursday I took a call from my ex-wife. Been no contact since our divorce was finalized. Had a 45-minute talk with her. She had been doing some self-reflection and was apologizing for specific things she did in the 5 months she put me on a shelf and the 6 months of trying to stop me from divorcing her. Seems she needed some closure and hoped that someday I would forgive her and no longer hate her. I informed her that I have forgiven her and that I want her to have a good life and forget all about me and move on with her life. She promised to respect my no contact. I am move on with my life. I am even working on rebuilding my relationship with my parents, which I have not spoke to in 7 years. It takes time. His divorce is still fresh, so the wound is still fresh. He should give it time. Focus on himself, do things that makes him happy. Whatever that is happening to her is not his fault. She is suffering the consequences of her own actions. She crossed her boundaries, forces him to have an open relationship, and then got pregnant by a deadbeat who wants nothing to do with her. If he go back to her, she will be good, but for few months and then fall back into the same pattern. Keep on going. Keep tight, no contact. I've been following your story. Let me say I'm impressed by how quickly you recognized your mistake in accepting her request to open the marriage, then took quick and correct steps to correct your life path. Takes a lot of willpower, emotional backbone, and resilience to operate like you did. It's natural to feel guilty. After all, you once loved her enough to not only marry her but even allowed her to pull the open marriage. You guys were supposed to grow old together, so watching her in this condition would trigger emotions. But just remember, if you re-engage her in any capacity, she will escalate the circus to keep you trapped in her orbit of cruelty. Redirect that guilt into improvement energy towards yourself. But always remind yourself, everything that's happened is her doing. The state she's in is entirely of her own doing. She is no longer your problem forever. Time for you to move on and regard all this as merely a speed bump in your life. I found out my wife of 23 years, 27 years together, was having an affair the last Sunday in January 2021. At first, she said she wanted to work it out with me. I was of course crushed, but still hopeful. Valentine's Day 2021 was a Monday. We had a nice romantic supper and night in a hotel. She wrote out 50 things she loved about me. Tuesday, I had a very minor day surgery. Wednesday morning, she said she needed some time to think and went to a hotel. She said during that while at the hotel she didn't see her partner. At the time I believed her. I realize now that was a lie. Friday, she came home and said, "I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I want to stay married, but keep seeing her partner. I told her that wasn't an option. We started sleeping separately, and she moved out a few weeks later. I was seeing a therapist at the start. I reconnected with a lot of old friends, got going to the gym regularly, got back into some old hobbies, climbed a few mountains, got a new and better paying job, including teaching a few courses at the local college, which was always a dream of mine. My sons had a hard time with it. The youngest had his worst year ever academically. He's now homeschooling, which works nicely as I mostly work from home, doing better. My eldest son hasn't stayed at his mom's since she started living with the other man. She actually called me the other day to talk about the classes our youngest is taking, and mentioned that our eldest is being a bit rude to them. My ex-wife lost her job. She is a nurse, so did easily find a new one. And other man was a co-worker. She's put on some weight. Her mother told me she is worried that my ex-wife is drinking too much. She told me a while ago that she regrets what's happened. I didn't respond. Just thought that she's stuck with a 3 times divorced older man who drinks too much and is willing to sleep with a married woman. That all said, I still sometimes miss the life I thought we would have together. It wasn't perfect, but I was happy. Looking back, I can see some of the issues a bit clearer, and I am working on making sure my new relationship doesn't follow the same path. A lot was due to not knowing how to communicate. We were 19 when we started seeing each other, and in some ways never grew out of that early relationship. I have been seeing someone, and she's wonderful. She's beautiful and kind, and we have a lot of things in common. She's climbed the mountains with me, and I'm looking forward to building a life together. I've accepted that my marriage and old life is over. I don't want to reconcile with my ex-wife, just signed divorce papers today. I am happy with my life now. I'm very happy with my girlfriend, and I'm looking forward to what life has in store. There are just some days when I get a little down and miss my old life, what I thought my future was going to be. The more distance, the better he will be. His ex made her choices and he had nothing in that. Yes, we all are human and are not perfect, but as we all know here, betraying the one he loved, not good at all. Maybe one day she will get a clue for her children. Around Christmas this past year, my now former fiancée, after 11 years, decided to tell me about her online boyfriend that she had been seeing for the last year and a half, on and off. Apparently his in real life girlfriend caught wind about something somehow, so his in real life GF was possibly aware of some of it, and I'm guessing he talked his way out of it. She then proceeds to tell me that she's not going to stop talking to him. She likes what they do, and I can stay and be okay with it, or leave. I chose to leave. I stayed at a relative's house until I was able to get on my feet again. However, it's not always that simple. We have a child together and I see my little girl every day. It's incredibly important that I maintain that bond with my child. We do unofficial 50-50 custody with our daughter. Her mom, my ex, invites me over and we do family things together, and we will put her to bed. I then try and leave, but I'm given the conundrum of stay and get physical with my ex or leave. I have chosen to stay on multiple occasions because I enjoy our time together. Without going into too much detail, our kinks line up perfectly and we have a specific dynamic that means a lot to me. It's not something illegal or anything like that. It's kind of therapeutic to me. We continue to go out and do things together as a family, and she makes comments like, "Now that's the man I want to be married to." She'll grab my arm and hold my hand. It's almost like we are in a relationship again. But we live apart, which if this were the case, I wouldn't be here. But I don't trust her because she messages the guy right in front of me. I will keep my child on nights that her mom doesn't want to be at my house, and I know for a fact that she is talking to him, having phone call, video chats, roleplay, etc. The reason I know this is because my daughter and I needed to run back by her mom's to grab some clothes, and she knew I was coming. I knock and then proceed to walk in, and she's on the couch basically pleasing herself while on the phone with him. We have talked about it, and she tells me that she doesn't want to get back together and enjoys the time we spend with each other, not only for us but for our daughter, and for her to know that we can still coexist and be good to each other even if we aren't together. I think it's confusing for my child and for me as well. The point that she makes that makes sense in my head is that we aren't up each other's life anymore, and we are able to grow back into ourselves, and we can use the weekends to have playtime and have fun after our child goes to bed. We don't have to concern ourselves with the bad parts of our relationship, only the good stuff. During the week I can focus on work. So, why I'm here is not the reason you're thinking. I'm going to outgrow the arrangement in my own time. I can do that part. The problem I have is that I know this man's name, address, number as well as his girlfriend's. I am debating on contacting his girlfriend and letting her know about all of the girls this guy is talking to, because my ex has told me a lot about him, and I took mental notes. She already knows it's happened in the past. He even told my ex, if a girl contacts you, you don't know me. I'm not going to cause any violence or anything illegal like that. I know if I was in her shoes, I would want to know. I know this will ruin my non-relationship with my ex, but at this point, I really don't care. She doesn't have much respect for him. She's not worth it really. She gets as much as she wants from anyone. I think he should show her she can't have her cake and eat it too. He should cut off contact with her except kids-related issues and move on with his life with someone who deserves him.